All right, folks, what is going on? This is episode 407 of the First and Frame Rate Show. I am VF Baller, and today we're going to talk a little speculation right now. I mean, I don't really do too much of these type of videos. I'll say I try not to. I'm not saying I don't do. I try not to. These what ifs, what player goes where, whatever the case may be. I don't try to do too many of these videos, but this one is pretty important. I'm going to give you my reasons why in this episode. Today we're going to talk about Kareem Hunt, the running back out of the Cleveland Browns. Says he wants to trade. Cleveland don't want to trade him. Kareem Hunt went back to practice even after, the whole situations happened. So he's going along with the program. So that's the disclaimer out here. It's not like he's holding out or anything. And the fact that the Browns have no interest, he may not get traded. But if he does, I think Atlanta will be a perfect fit for him, and I'm gonna give you, my reasons why behind all of that. If this is your first time here, welcome to the First and Frame Rate Show. I am VF Baller. Over here, we talk about Georgia Southern and Atlanta Falcons football. Talk about a little bit of Atlanta Falcons football to start off our week. I am on YouTube and Rumble. I'm also on Anchor, Stitcher, Spotify, Apple, and Google Podcasts. This podcast is still growing slowly but surely. We are moving up on the numbers are going up every time I put out an episode, and it's all thanks to you guys. I cannot thank you guys enough. I really can't. So let's go ahead and get into this. We already know we drafted Tyler Algier. We got Dame Williams at running back. We also got Quadri Allison as well. Avery Williams is also putting in work. But I think if we do, by whatever means, if we get Kareem Hunt for this upcoming year via trade, I think it'd be a perfect fit for what the Falcons are trying to do. Now, we have all these other running backs here, and basically what it's looking like is Arthur Smith is running back by committee. But we do need a bell cow, and we're kind of leaning towards Tyler Algier to be that guy, maybe even Quadri Allison. Both of them have the size to do so. But with Kareem Hunt, he's a proven commodity. Not to say that Quadri Allison isn't, because Quadri Allison has some time in the NFL, but he's no Kareem Hunt. Kareem Hunt is a proven commodity. He has led the league in rushing at one point, and he doesn't have that much tread on his tires. I mean, the last 2 years, he hasn't done that much. So this would be a really good move for the Falcons, even if they don't decide they don't want to sign him the following year because he's in the last year of his contract. He has 2 years, $6 or $8 million left on his contract or something like that. I didn't look at it, but I know he's in the final year of his 2-year deal. Get him in for 1 year. You let him run wild, do his thing, and let him play for a bigger contract. And if he wants to get signed by the Falcons, it's a possibility because we have a lot of cap space, or he can go somewhere else. At the same time, we get a guy that will help, Marcus Mariota or Desmond Ridder behind center, and it takes a load off of Cordell Patterson tremendously. Cordell Patterson does not have to worry about running the ball as much. He can go out and play more of a wide receiver position, which that'll give us more weapons on the outside against any secondary that we go up against. So that's pretty much the gist of what I think of why we should get Kareem Hunt. I think it's almost, in some cases, a no-brainer. I don't know what the whole situation behind our trade value that we may have. I know Cleveland is desperate for some picks after the Deshaun Watson trade because they gave up a lot to the Texans. So they can get picks anywhere they can. Because I think for the next 2 or 3 drafts, they have nothing. So they're pretty much going all in. And they already have a running back with Nick Chubb, where Nick Chubb is basically going to be that guy. And I understand they want to do a 1-2 punch. But when you only gave Kareem Hunt 78 carries last year for 386 yards, I mean, is he really the 1-2 punch? Because it's not getting that many carries. I'm just a little concerned about that as far as what the Cleveland Browns are trying to do. Not necessarily concerned from what they're trying to do for their sake, but as far as trying to hold on to Kareem Hunt, I mean, I think that for what they got going on, it may be a good situation for them to probably move on from him, because even after the season, he's gonna walk away and you get nothing for him. It's kind of similar like a basketball situation. You want to trade somebody in the last couple of years or the last year of their deal, or they walk away with nothing. At least with their situation, with them needing draft picks, or hell, they make it lose help in other places. they would probably want to trade him. Now, for us, I know we got a handful of picks for next season that we could, trade off. And I think for a running back that is 27 years old and that wants out, the leverage is not that. The leverage is not on the Cleveland Browns side for the most part. If they decide to turn things around and let them be open for a trade, I feel that we could probably get him for a third and a fifth or something like that. You know what I'm saying? So it's just something of that nature is like make me thinking like, all right, maybe we'll be able to do something with this entire situation. For the most part, I think that the Falcons could benefit very, very well from this trade if they was to ever decide to decide to go after him. I don't see where, how in the world it would, not be beneficial. I mean, you look at a guy who can run the ball, who's actually able to be a person that can, really, move a team down the field with his running game. I mean, even with a bad, offensive line, I think Kareem Hunt will do, pretty well. I mean, he's hard to take down. He has pretty good vision. Also, with the situation with him catching out in the backfield, he can do a little bit of everything. And for a guy with his size, I mean, he's at 5'11", probably like, 220, 230. I mean, you got a guy who can do a little bit of everything with that power and speed. It will bode very well for the team. So I just don't, I'm sitting there trying to figure out where's the downside of this. The only thing about it is we may have to give up a good bit for him if push comes to shove. But I don't think it's going to be a good bit because, like I said, he wants out. They don't have much leverage. But, I mean, what is too expensive for a running back of this caliber? He doesn't have that much tread on his tires because of the fact that, the last few years, he hasn't been running the ball at all. I mean, he basically hasn't been. I mean, you got to think about it. In 2017, when he was in KC as a rookie, he ran the ball almost 275 times. And he had like 50 something receptions. And ever since then, it's just been on the decline. Outside of 2020, he had 198 carries, but then the following season after that, he only played 8 games with 78 carries. So he still has a lot of. He has a lot going for him as far as us trying to, if we was to pick him up or whatever the case may be, I think it will bode very well for us. In reality, it may not happen. I'm not really sure because, the Falcons, I think, to be honest, the Falcons are okay with the position they're in as far as running back. I mean, even with Cordell Patterson in the backfield, that would help. But Kareem Hunt is Kareem Hunt. Kareem Hunt would make things a lot easier for the team. I just don't see it. I mean, at the end of the day, it may not happen because the Browns, they decline the trade. Maybe, money talks, trade value talks. If the Falcons was to ever try it, which I don't think they will, but if they actually tried it, they would have something there to give the Browns actually give it a look. I mean, I think it'll be a win-win for both sides. I mean, the Falcons get a running back, and you also have the Browns get some draft picks. Like I said, that's something that they need because they haven't, the Deshaun Watson trade, they gave up pretty much everything for Deshaun Watson. So it's I don't know. My thing is I think it'll be a really good look. I think it'll be really good. I mean, you got a guy who can run the ball and catch out the backfield. He does pretty well on both ends. I'm not sure about his pass blocking. I haven't watched him enough to know, but I'm pretty sure it's pretty stout. I think it'll be pretty good enough to actually say, hey, he could be running back number 1. Because, I mean, you really look at the Falcons right now, like, I think that Arthur Smith is pretty much having a running back by committee, but there has to be that one guy that's going to stand out and do a lot of things. There's already been reports of Tyler Algiers basically working with the second team. I don't know how that bodes well for him, but with him being a 5th round pick, it is kind of par for the course for a lot of guys who get picked in the 5th round. You don't see too many people in the 5th round like come up right away and do something. Now there are stories of that. Now don't get me wrong. There are stories of guys who are actually 5th round, 6th, and 7th round start right away and make a big impact. But most of the time that's not the case. So with that being said, you're probably going to be in a situation where we really need somewhat of a bell cow to actually get us short yards and get us, a little bit of flash out of the backfield. And with him running at 5'11", about 220 pounds, he's about the same size as Tyler Algier, but he's more polished. He's not as big as Cordell Patterson, but at running back, he's more polished. Same thing with Quadri Allison. I think Quadri Allison is slightly bigger than Kareem Hunt, but he's more polished. Dane Williams is a different type of running back. I don't want to compare the two, and I also don't want to compare them to Avery Williams. Both of those guys are, really pretty much out of the backfield, catching the ball out of the backfield type of players. So, yeah, can they run between tackles? I'm pretty sure they can. I'm not saying they can't, but they're no Kareem Hunt. I just think at the end of the day, this is something that the Falcons may want to look into. I'm not sure if it will be the case, but if they do, I think it'll be a perfect fit at the end of the day. Just looking at the situation for what we have personnel-wise, I think it would be. I really would think it would be. But we'll see how that plays out. It'd probably be a nothing burger. I don't expect the Falcons to do anything, but just my opinion. Looking at looking at the scenario of what the Falcons have, I think if you want a bell cow that helps your running back, you'll help your quarterback tremendously, because the passing game is pretty much look like it's going to be on lock. Have you seen some of the stuff that they've done as far as the passing game in training camp? Those guys look like they're ready to go. Even Felipe Franks is out there balling. And we just got finished talking about Drake London, and we saw Kyle Pitts. It looked like we got some weapons. But, even with the back situation with Jalen Mayfield, I don't know how that's going to play out as far as him getting time on the line, but we may have to plug somebody else in there. But with that being said, when you have a Kareem Hunt, somebody like that, is actually going to bode well. Even if you have a subpar offensive line, he's going to be able to find some way to get around up and down the field. So that would be a pretty good look. I can't speak for the rest of the running backs we have right now, but I know with Kareem Hunt, we're not going to have a Mike Davis situation. That's just, I know that for certain. So that's just my 2 cents on that. Let me know what you guys think. If you like this commentary, hit the like button to share this podcast. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Subscribe to the podcast if you haven't already. I am on YouTube and Rumble, also on Anchor, Stitcher, Spotify, Apple, and Google Podcasts. I can't thank you guys enough for the support. I really, really appreciate it. If you want to donate to the podcast, all the links are down in the description so you can help this podcast grow. And other than that, man, we're going to keep on rumbling and moving right along. Episode 407 will be 408 on Tuesday. And I'll continue to give my thoughts and opinions on everything that's going on. And it's just a good time right now. It really is. You just can't beat what is going on. The Falcons are looking pretty decent. The Georgia Southern Eagles are looking pretty good. And we're just going to keep it moving. Y'all guys take it easy. I really appreciate y'all. And I will see you guys on Thursday. All right, y'all take it easy and y'all be blessed. Peace.